Hi, my name is Niklaas Visser. I'm a student here at ASU, and I watched a TED Talk by Patrick Lynn, which was about the ethical dilemmas we will face as self-driving cars become more popular in the future. He talked about possible scenarios where self-driving cars would work against us rather than with us. I chose this topic because the future is coming very soon, and I am seeing more and more Teslas become present on the road. After watching his talk, I thought about what life would look like if all cars on the road self-drove. This made me question who would be at fault in the events of an accident in a self-driving car. As I was doing my research, different themes presented themselves that needed to be answered. I needed to answer those themes in order for me to find the conclusion to my research question. There were three main themes that I have found, and I'll be going more in depth on those, starting with the first one. The first main theme that I found within my research was the question, how does the public feel about self-driving cars? Recently, certain bills have been passed regarding self-driving cars, allowing states to handle the situations. These bills require companies to send safety-related data to the NHTSA, which is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The NHTSA are responsible to cut down the deaths or injuries on public roads. Helen Jones conducted a survey regarding self-driving cars, and as you can see, she had 4,500 participants. Out of those participants, 61% of them said they would be afraid riding in a car that was fully self-driving, and only 26% were comfortable with self-driving cars transporting their children or loved ones. This data shows that the majority of Jones's participants do not seem to completely trust fully autonomous vehicles. When we are driving, we are responsible for any action we make. Now, in self-driving cars, the car makes the actions instead of the consumer. Therefore, the vehicle can choose the consumer's life over others. To go into further detail, let us say there is a pedestrian in the middle of a road and there was a wall to your right. If you were driving, you would swerve into the wall to save the pedestrian and damage your car. And you could also possibly injure yourself. Now that the vehicle is driving for you, it could hit the pedestrian so you will not get injured. Completely autonomous vehicles have not taken over the roads yet. Sure, there are Teslas and Waymo and other companies that have self-driving abilities on the roads, but there are still gas stations at almost every corner. As time goes on, self-driving cars will become more affordable and available. The public's views will change over time, so surveys as of right now are not completely accurate. It is always best to do further research in the future, since self-driving cars are still in early stages. As I was doing my research, I found a second theme I kept asking myself. Why are researchers worried about the future involving self-driving cars? Well, not all car manufacturers are the same. For example, Tesla has different programs or algorithms than Waymo. Because of this, they might not work well with each other on the road. Another thing is self-driving cars can't predict what others are going to do on the road. Human drivers and autonomous vehicles will be sharing the roads with each other. The autonomous vehicles will not know when the human driver is going to cut them off and maybe slam on their brakes. This has made Borenstein have some questions of his own. Will drivers of certain types of self-driving cars require special training and/or licensing? Another question he has asked is, will drivers in hybrid, human or autonomous vehicles be permitted to outmaneuver fully autonomous vehicles by switching in and out of autonomous mode? When Tesla had their first crash, they sent NTSB the data that caused the accident. Tesla was not required to do so, but it did help create transparency to the public and most likely help Tesla as a company in the long run in sales. The last theme that I had questioned was, what are the benefits of self-driving cars? Now during road trips, there will be more time to enjoy the scenery instead of focusing on the road constantly and only being able to look at the landscape for a second or two. It will be possible to take in the nature that is around. This can also benefit photographers because they can take pictures as the car is moving instead of having to pull over and stop, which takes up more time out of their day. Self-driving cars are electric. Unlike gas-powered cars, there won't be any toxic fumes going into the Earth's atmosphere. This will help us have cleaner air and less pollution. Because self-driving cars are programmed, there will be less congestion on the road and traffic will run more smoothly. If these cars are programmed correctly, they'll be able to switch lanes without hitting another vehicle. As they do their lane switch, it can maintain a constant speed without having to slow down drastically like humans do in traffic. There will not be road rage, for example, like when someone will not let another person over into their lane because they're upset for some reason. 90% of crashes can be blamed on human error. Usually these instances are because of distractions or carelessness. We can only control ourselves and not the ones around us. A person might brake at a stoplight, but the person behind them does not notice right away and rear-ends them immediately. There are many different scenarios that can cause an accident because of human error. In 2017, there were 37,133 fatalities on US roads. This number will be greatly decreased when self-driving cars become more regular on the roads. In the event of an accident in a self-driving car, as of right now, the states are deciding who is at fault. I agree with Borenstein as he said there should be an option of where a driver can take control of the situation instead of the car making the tough decisions on what to do in an accident. This is to prevent lawsuits and other legal issues companies might go through if an accident does occur. There will always be accidents no matter what. Now that there will not be any human error, it will be hardware or programming issues. My grandpa always told me to never buy the first year of a new vehicle. And as you might not know, the first year is always the year with the most recalls. Car manufacturers and programmers are still working out the little defects on self-driving cars because they are still in the early stages. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.